I got to tell you, when you go through an emotional period in your life, it can really test not only your inner strength and your inner resolve, but how you view the world and how you view what is happening to you and your circumstances and where you are. And that can be really telling as to how much self-love you have and how evolved you are in taking responsibility for everything that you have and have done in your life. So today I want to talk about ownership and emotional healing. So I have been through, a basket full of relationships in my life, and every single time that one ends, it is a regrouping, it is a learning lesson, and it forces me to feel things that I don't want to feel because let's face it, pain and heartache and healing is not easy. It is not for the faint of heart. And most people go inward. They just push the emotions aside and they choose not to go through the work of healing themselves and actually learning the lessons that they need to learn. So with the women that I coach, the biggest thing that they all tell me is that, why does this keep happening to me? And my answer is because you haven't learned your lesson. Now, I know that sounds cheeky and awfully simplified, but the reality is true. It is true. We are given the same things over and over and over in our life until we learn the lesson. So if you keep attracting the same people in your life, or the same shitty jobs with a terrible boss, or the same friends that backstab you, there's a reason that you keep attracting these people. You haven't learned the lesson. And what does that mean? Well, the lesson is you don't know your personal boundaries. You don't know your self-worth. You don't know what you are deserving of. And you aren't treating yourself with the love and the self-respect and the self-worth that you need to in order for you to change those things. So when we keep experiencing the same things over and over and over, it is time for you to take a chill pill. It's time for you to go deep into the forest or down to the beach or to your park, and you need to sit down there with your pen and paper and say, why? What am I not doing, or what am I doing that is creating this never-ending cycle of Groundhog Day? So I will share a little bit of experience of what I have had to go through in order for me to learn my lesson. So I had a habit always of being involved with men who I would say weren't emotionally available. I mean, it seemed like they were, and they were the greatest things since sliced bread and all that. And I just kept feeling like I was not safe. I wasn't getting enough. And so I kept giving more and more and more of myself. And when I came out the other end of it, I had lost who I was because my whole entire focus was on giving to this person that I was not receiving back from. So it may have looked okay on the outside, but I was constantly empty. I was constantly feeling like I wasn't getting the love that I really wanted. And I knew that I had everything inside me to give them, and that's what I did, is I just overgave. So what I needed to realize is that I missed some really big initial red flags in the very beginning that would have given me the clue. And I'm actually going to back up. I didn't miss them. I chose to ignore them. And what those flags were showing me is that this person was not capable or would not be able to give me the type of love or the affection or the attention or whatever it was that I was needing from them in order for me to be satisfied in a relationship. So you have to remember too that you are deserving and worthy of the things that you want in a relationship. If you want to have a partner that is really engaged and they really are good conversationalists and they love to have debate and they love to talk, then it is okay for you to want that. You know, you don't have to listen to all this stuff in society that says, oh, you're being too demanding and you should lower your standards. No, absolutely not. You need to know what your personal boundaries are. Now, having said that, you also need to show up equally in the relationship. This is a relationship. It takes two sides of the street, right? Both people need to enter into it 100%. So when it comes to boundaries, you need to be clear on what it is that you want. And I was not clear on my boundaries. I let so many things slide, and I just ended up giving and giving and giving, and to the point that I had nothing left to give, and there was nothing being given back to me. Now, I saw the red flags and I chose to ignore them. So that is why I ended up attracting the same people, the same types of people over and over and over again, because I had not learned my lesson. I had not made a clear list of what my boundaries and needs were. And so when I entered into a new relationship, I just took whatever I could get. And whatever I was given was good enough until it wasn't good enough. And they never were good enough because I was entering into relationships that would never be healthy for me, because I had not made my boundary list. I had overlooked my needs in a relationship so that I could make them happy without even realizing that they could never make me happy. So it's really important that you become very clear on what your needs are and what your boundaries are. And that is for any situation in life, whether it comes to relationships, whether it comes to your career or your friendships, your business relationships. You need to be very clear on what your boundaries are and what your needs are. And do not falter from those, because you will end up in the same situation a year, 5, 10, or 20 years later. And let me tell you, none of us are getting any younger. So it's better if you learn these lessons out of the gate so that you can stop that cycle and start attracting to you the things that you are deserving of. But you have to be clear on what it is that you want, what your boundaries are, and what you need in your life in order for you to be fulfilled. And I would also expect the same of the person that I will be involved with, or the career, or anything. It has to be a two-way street. You both have to be mutually satisfied and fulfilled in a relationship for it to work. So if you keep attracting the same things, take a look inward. It has absolutely nothing to do with them and everything to do with you. So go to that park and sit with your piece of paper and start writing a list of the things that are non-negotiable and what your list of boundaries are. And if you waver from them, put the brakes on, back up, get out, and start over. You can do it. I know you can. So for more tips on how to truly thrive in your life, head to my blog, monicadiane.com, and there you will find a list of things that you can implement that are actually going to help move you in the right direction so that you start to manifest the type of life that you want, rather than just falling victim to a life that you actually did not set up yourself. And let me tell you, you have all the control in the world. Okay, till the next time. We'll see you then.